Isn't this kind of crazy? It might just be me, but to exist in a world like this is actually kind of wild to me. To exist in a world where I could, at any one given moment, have access to almost a complete compendium of everything humanity has ever worked for, everything humanity has ever done, right at my fingertips. With the search of one word, I can find something that some people might not have seen in years. I can find out things some people will never learn in their lifetime, and something I would never have learned in my lifetime otherwise. The internet's a marvelous thing, not just because of the information, but I mean, you're staring at it right now. There's games. I mean, how crazy is it that through a very complex sequence of ones and zeros, of binary code, we can get this? We can get simulated pixels on a screen that create a coherent experience. Isn't that just crazy? That every single part of a computer, going down to beyond what the human eye can see, work in tandem to create this process, and in which mathematical equations can become simulations of some things that we, well, before, I believe would have thought impossible. If I told someone even just 50 years ago how far video games would have advanced in the 50 years' time, I don't think, in all honesty, they would have believed me. I don't think that 50 years ago they thought games would go from arcades to. I mean, GTA 6 is kind of crazy. I know that's like kind of the goalpost for modern gaming, but even some relatively older games now are looking kind of crazy. I've recently been getting into Warframe, and especially with like Warframe, Destiny, games like those, you can't logically tell me that before this was possible, people believed it would be. To create a game that looked that polished, that ran that well, that was so complex, I don't think they would have believed it possible. And I don't think I could have blamed them for their disbelief. But now we do. We live in a world where almost everything we could ever want to know is at our fingertips. And I feel like the internet age, as we should begin to start calling it, is definitely upon us. It's definitely different than everything else we've seen before. It's very distinct, very separate from the rest of the world. And I don't think we understand how much the world has changed in just the time we've spent on it. I mean, to understand the fact that we went from barely being able to simulate something like, I don't know, Minecraft, to Minecraft being an outdated game, almost. I mean, it's still there are points to be made, but this game is old. But all things being considered, we also have a more world focus, which is really interesting to me. How we are the closest we have ever been to one singular global consciousness, as they call it. A completely connected society where somebody like me could be completely logically in close communication with someone from, say, Australia, which is true. There have been times in my life where I have had very close communication with people in Australia. I mean, barring the time difference, there was nothing really prohibiting us from doing something like that. And even if the internet is known for having latency issues, I've never really noticed that as an issue, but more as a singular pain point in something that's so revolutionary. We're almost it's almost inevitable that we have at least one or two things, but people have definitely been getting spoiled with the internet. I myself included. It's one of those things that feels like it has always existed, even though it's just now recently becoming a thing, especially the way we define it now. I mean, artificial intelligence, like, I get the mixed opinions on it because of the destruction to the environment, along with a myriad of other things. But isn't that crazy that we've created an algorithm that can, to some degree, think independently of humans? Like, its responses aren't programmed the same way responses used to be. They're adaptable, they're malleable. We've began to create the mathematical equations that facilitate learning in the same way we learn as children. Isn't that crazy? That in this world of controversy, of politics, of division, we are the least divided, I personally think, we've ever been, at least not by nationality anymore. Because there used to be a time where a politician could say that one society was bad simply because they weren't the same. But now that we have easy means of communication to almost every society in the world, those excuses begin to melt away, almost putting more power into the people's hand as the internet continues to grow. Again, pushing us closer and closer to one singular global consciousness. Not combined consciousness the same way some people think of it, but united more than we could have ever imagined before these technologies existed. And so today, I want to implore you to realize that this is one of the wildest things. The fact that my voice can be heard through waves of energy shooting off to satellites in space, the fact that images of a game can be generated not from your own computer but being sent to you once more. The fact that we can send video data, audio data, um, straight through, honestly, the air is actually kind of crazy. And I don't think we take enough time to think about how insane our technology has actually got. I think they had some point in calling this virtual insanity, but there's also some point in calling this the closest we've ever been to true unity. So with that, I want to thank you all for watching. I know I've kind of ignored Wonder and Wisdom for months upon months, but I wanted to come at you with some great news today and give you something to think about on the way out. Specifically, the fact that I officially published my first book. I know while I was kind of fostering the Wonder and Wisdom YouTube channel, that has always been a big talking point of mine about this book I was writing, and it's been almost a year now, and it's finally done. It's finally out. You can buy the missing ones on Kindle. I know it's Amazon. Yeah, I understand why that's not great, but my other options either took over 1 to 3 years to do, or cost a lot of money, or in some cases both. So Kindle Direct Publishing seemed to be the best route for a combination of actual reach and ease of publishing. So if you want to read The Missing Ones, it is out on Kindle now. I will have a link to that in the description if you want to read through it. It's nothing special, but it's just a little something that you can read through if you want to, or something you can entirely ignore if that's what you wish to do. But I've flown well far enough away from my base, so I think I gotta get schmoovin' back there. But with that, I want to thank you for watching the Wonder and Wisdom channel. I want to get back to this a little more, Because I used to enjoy it so much. I mean, it was a relatively easy upload uh, formula, I guess. But I've been over on things like Failing Forward and Chaos Co. Making videos there. They're not exactly the same as these, but if you enjoy this kind of content, you might enjoy that too. So, with that, you can watch those from the channel description, um, and have fun with that.